Hi, team. Welcome back to Bible Break. We're back in the Old Testament today, and bit of a low key start in some ways. We're looking at the death of Sarah, Abram's wife, Sarah. Genesis 23. I'm going to read the whole chapter, reading from the NIV as usual. So it's 23 1 to 20. Here we go. Sarah lived to be 127 years old. She died at Kirjath Arba, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abram went to mourn for Sarah and to weep over her. Then Abram rose from beside his dead wife and spoke to the Hittites. He said, I am an alien and a stranger among you. Sell me some property for a burial site here so that I can bury my dead. The Hittites replied to Abram, Sir, listen to us. You are a mighty prince among us. Bury your dead in the choicest of our tombs. None of us will refuse you his tomb for burying your dead. Then Abram rose and bowed down before the people of the land, the Hittites. He said to them, If you are willing to let me bury my dead, then listen to me and intercede with Ephron, son of Zohar, on my behalf so that he will sell me the cave of Machpelah, which belongs to him and is in the end of his field. Ask him to sell it to me for the full price as a burial site among you. Ephron the Hittite was sitting among his people, and he replied to Abram in the hearing of all the Hittites who had come to the gate of his city, No, my lord, he said. Listen to me. I give you the field, and I give you the cave that is in it. I give it to you in the presence of my people. Bury your dead. Again, Abram bowed down before the people of the land, and he said to Ephron in their hearing, Listen to me, if you will, I will pay the price of the field. Accept it from me so that I can bury my dead there. Ephron answered Abram, Listen to me, my lord, the land is worth 400 shekels of silver, but what's that between me and you? Bury your dead. Abram agreed to Ephron's terms and weighed out for him the price he had named in the hearing of the Hittites, 400 shekels of silver according to the weight current among the merchants. So Ephron's field in Machpelah near Mamre, both the field and the cave in it, and all the trees within the borders of the field was legally made over to Abram as his property in the presence of all the Hittites who had come to the gate of the city. Afterwards, Abram buried his wife Sarah in the cave in the field of Machpelah near Mamre, which is at Hebron in the land of Canaan. So the field and the cave in it were legally made over to Abram by the Hittites as a burial site. Right, when I say this is a kind of a low-key return to Genesis, yes, we begin with the death of Sarah. Not much is said about it, but of course, Abram's sorrow and grieving and mourning over the loss of his dear wife. But that's it then. It's straight down to the practicalities by the look of what we've just read. And that's interesting because we see here how Abram, first of all, is a stranger, a foreigner on the earth. That Abram has no homeland, no country that is his. God has promised him and his descendants after him the promised land of Canaan, but we're not there yet. And Abram is still effectively, you could even say, a nomad, living on the land of these people. He has nothing. Well, he may have goods and so on, and cattle and all the rest of it, but he has no land. That doesn't mean, of course, that he's nothing, that he's nobody. It's quite clear from our reading that as far as the Hittites, the people in this locality, are concerned, Abram is certainly somebody. And when Abram solicits them for a burial plot, a burial site for his wife, they jump to it. And it's clear by the way that they address Abraham that he is somebody for them. He is highly esteemed. And they want to give him the discussion that ensues between Abram and the Hittites. It's quite clear from the outset, on the face of it, that they would be quite happy to give this land to Abram, who they consider to be a prince amongst men and amongst them. So that gives us some idea of the good relations which Abram has had and has cultivated with these folks. We read on a couple of occasions how Abram bows to them as he's chatting with, as he's talking to them, as he's addressing them, they're addressing him. He bows before them. This is it, isn't it? Abram, although Abram is considered great amongst them, it's quite clear that the source of his greatness isn't any claim to greatness or to lord it over them, but that Abram has, shall we say, humility and the capacity to honor and respect those who he is dealing with. So that's something by way, once again, of the type of person Abram is his character, his example, that maybe we can glean something from. This man who has nothing in terms of land is nonetheless highly esteemed, and it is because of the way that he conducts himself towards the people in whose land he is still a stranger and still a nomad, one would have to say, really. But then the nature of the discussion between Abram and it boils down to a man called Ephron, because Abram would like to have that bit of land where there's the cave at Machpelah, and all this belongs to Ephron, as the site to bury his wife. Well, it's clear from the discussion here that there's a kind of very polite, let's put it that way, exchange between Abram and Ephron, whereby Ephron insists, no, no, you can have the land, yes, it's worth, what was it, 400 shekels or something like that, 400 shekels, but what's that between you and me? No, take it, have it. But he's mentioned the price. Ephron has mentioned the price. In any case, Abram doesn't want to take it and want to have it for nothing. He wants to pay something like the going rate for it. And since Ephron has mentioned the price, well, Abram then latches onto that, fixes onto that, and that is the price that they agree, and that Abram agrees to pay Ephron for the land. But it's interesting here in that this is all done publicly. It's clear that the site is traced out, what actually in what Abram's plot actually consists of, and so this is a legal thing in the end. It's public, and a little bit of the promise, falls into of the promised land. I mean, as it were, falls into Abram's lap as a result of and following the death of his wife Sarah. But it's that's just it. He has nothing. He has no land, but he has this land now, following the death of his wife, and a kind of almost like a kind of tidbit, if we can put it like that, a small slice of the promise appears to be already fulfilled here in terms of the promised land. Our last verse was the field and the cave were legally made over to Abram by the Hittites as a burial site. We're not going to prolong our Bible break. Today we usually go a bit over, but here we're considerably less, but we're not going to prolong this chapter for the sake of it. So there you are. I shall leave you with that. And we're going to go on to look at Isaac and Rebecca next time around. So I'll see you then. Ciao for now.